For this project, you will need your templates for your squirrel, areas that I don't need to cut initially on these parts. So I will section off this piece of glass using some dotted lines, and then I will begin cutting like that. Sadly, it doesn't work that magically or that quickly. For some of these more subtle curves, such as in the body and the belly portion, you may need to either cut it again into that soft curve or use a grinder. For the nose, you will only need a small piece of glass, and you're just going to cut a tiny triangle. This piece of glass may look clear, but when you place it on top of a darker piece of glass, it gives it a different effect. Now moving on to the wires, you want to curve each end of your wires just a little bit with your flat nose and your round nose pliers. Here you can see me doing that, holding it with the flat nose and then bending it with my round nose. On your longer pieces that are going to attach to the body, you want to bend both ends of your wire, and you are bending the wire so that it can hook onto the glass a little bit easier when in fusion. Moving on to the grinding now, you can use the regular grit for larger surfaces such as the snout of this squirrel, and you're going to use the top thinner piece of the grinder with your sponge for moisture to get into that little curve of the ear. Make sure that you are applying enough moisture with that sponge because it's very, very important, and there you have your little curve. So now we're also going to do that with the foot. as well, you want to grind all your pieces down so that they're pretty much the same size as each other. This will take a very long time, especially with the feet and the paws and the squirrel head. Next, you're going to make a tail for your squirrel out of wire, and you want to make sure that the hook that you end your squirrel tail in is perfectly curved and also flat. You'll see me flattening the end of the hook here on the squirrel tail, and that is because I want it to sit flush within the two pieces of glass that it is going to be sandwiched between, like so. First, I will lay out where my scroll pieces are going to be on my kiln paper, and next I am going to start actually assembling. Remember that the first layer that you put down should be the inner body color, because this part is going to come out flat rather than rounded after the lacy firing. We are choosing to do lacy because, unlike full fuse, lacy will allow you to keep some of those curves in the foot and in the head. Now I'm applying the wires on top of those pieces that I initially glued down to my kiln paper and making sure that they're secure and flush. You do not want your wire sticking up or angled in any sort of way that will make the glass that sits on top of it teeter off of it during the firing. And I'm just adding a dot of glue where all of the conjoining parts are. For pieces like the foot, I'm going to add a few dots of glue, one where the wire is going to attach, one where the toe is going to be, and one where the top of the haunch is. Everything should lay right on top of each other, and for those final details on the face and the belly, you want to make sure that your glue is a little bit dry on the lower layers before you add more, because if not, gravity will take hold and things will start sliding around. Now here I am adding the eyes, adding the little nose, and here's a general look over the full body of these squirrels. Don't forget to add lacy to your firing sheet. And here they are out of the kiln. Now for our second to last part, we are going to add glue to both halves of the squirrel in the body part and the head part. Only these two parts, because the feet and the arms, as you see, are going to be bent. You want to leave the glue to dry for a good amount of time before you start bending these limbs, because otherwise the head and the body will start sliding around. And you can either manually or with tools bend the wire for the squirrel paws and the squirrel feet. And for the last part of embellishment, you can add copper or silver wire twisted around the tail in any kind of pattern that you would like, and you can also add a little acorn if you'd like for your squirrel to carry around. If you'd like to learn more about wire wrapping and how to make these cute little designs like so, please keep a lookout for wire wrapping classes in the future, and thank you for joining me.